Hey y'all. Hopefully you can hear me. Zach, tell me if I can be heard. Y'all, I'm having to do this by myself because I'm in the airport. So I am hoping that my staff tells me that we are all good. Because I want to jump on as my flight has been delayed yet again. But it's all good. I am not mad at air traffic controllers whatsoever. I am very happy. All right, Zach says we're good. I'm not mad at air traffic controllers. I'm not mad at any federal workers except for the ones that have continued to get paid, which means it's like me and my coworkers. But that's a whole other issue. I'm obviously not mad at myself either. Anyway, so I want to jump on before I have to go on board my flight. Number one, I am headed back because, well, I got to do my job. And if you were concerned or if you had questions about how I plan to vote no. So I am going and I'm going to cast my no vote. I do have my staff paying attention so that they can make sure that I can answer any questions that you may have. Let me give you a general rundown. So I got my glasses on because I'm looking at my phone as I want to talk about a couple of things in this continuing resolution. Number one, we said that we were going to fight for the Affordable Care Act tax subsidies. Um, that's not a part of this continuing resolution. I just want to be clear about that. So, number one, the whole point of kind of going through this, we didn't quite accomplish it. So I'm like, it's it's still time to fight. That's number one. Number two, I know that some are like, oh, but they're going to get a vote. If you pay attention to the Speaker of the House, and we can go back to Schoolhouse Rock if we want to, but any bill that we have must pass the House, the Senate, and then be signed into law by the president. So here's the deal. The House Speaker has said he's not bringing anything to the floor as it relates to the tax subsidies. So, yes, the Senate Democrats may take a vote and it may feel good. And chances are it probably won't pass, or maybe it will pass so that those Republicans in the Senate can pretend like they're about this life when they know that the House Speaker has already made it clear that he doesn't have any plans whatsoever of putting it on to the floor. So that's number one. So I feel like we didn't get anything. It was just cute to say. I also want to be clear that these crooks, and I am calling them crooks because we know that January 6th was a horrific day in our country. Somehow the president has decided that he should dig into the piggy bank and take hundreds of millions of dollars worth of taxpayer dollars away for how he felt about how he was treated about trying to make sure that we had an insurrection in our country. This is after his DOJ paid $5 million to the family of Ashley Babbitt, who was literally climbing through, and police told her, ma'am, back. And she didn't. And she found out. Okay. So they decided to give her family $5 million. Now, senators that are so offended because their phone records may have been subpoenaed as it relates to January 6th. They slipped a little provision in for them to get $500,000 if they, you know, submit to the DOJ. And well, what do you think Trump's DOJ would do? Give them the money. So at the same time that they're saying we don't have money to make sure that there's health care, in fact, we don't even want to make sure that we take a vote on that after we've already increased your premiums. Yeah, but we deserve $500,000. Mind you, we don't get paid $500,000 a year. In fact, in 2 years, we don't make $500,000. That's basically almost 3 years of our salary. And they decide that they should just be able to get that. So, yet another reason to vote no. Let's see. We will finally get Adelita Grijalva sworn in. She is scheduled to be sworn in at 4 p.m. on tomorrow. When I get back, which is why I'm leaving late at night, I actually have to do a deposition first thing in the morning at 9 o'clock for the oversight committee. Um, let's see. What else do we need to talk about? We need to talk about a couple more things, and then I am going to ask my staff what questions y'all have. All right. So Actually, we're just gonna talk about one more thing. Then I'm gonna answer these questions because I gotta keep an eye in case it is time to actually board my flight. Um, y'all, the Republicans are real nervous. They real nervous. It is like I want y'all to think about this. So I woke up this morning and there was yet another interview where the mango turd decided that he wanted to have my name in his mouth. Okay. So he was on Fox and Friends and he decided to, use his famous line that I'm low IQ. What is so interesting about this is that at the same time, he also started talking about like being from Somalia. So I don't know if he thinks I'm from Somalia or if he got me confused with like another member. It was very weird, but not really, because y'all know that I don't think he all there in the head anyway. Okay. So we know he's somebody crazy uncle. Mary, come get your uncle. Okay, that's fine on that side of things. But like they're so mad. So they are trying to convince people there's no way Jasmine could ever win Texas Senate. She's no one to be concerned about. Yes, that's who we want to run. Yet they are coming up with these bootleg stories, y'all. I it is laughable that I would have one of these ridiculous networks reach out to my staff inquiring about the fact that I pay for security out of my campaign account. Now, mind you, in my mind, I do think that that's a good question. I think that's a question for maybe Speaker Johnson about why it is that he's not protecting members of Congress. I think that it's really a good question as to why a member of Congress needs to pay for security out of money that they go and raise instead of focusing on making sure that they use that money to educate voters about why it is that their candidacy matters. I do think that it does people like me a disservice when you are so outspoken. And then what happens is instead of you being able to put all your dollars into campaigning, instead, you've got to do things like pay for your security. But I kind of value my life, so it is what it is. And it is what it is. So, yeah, I'm like, y'all real desperate if y'all like mad about like the way that I go about making sure that I'm secure. Like it's giving you don't have anything. So you just want to just make a lot out of nothing. But we could talk about costs. We could talk about the over $30 million that we've spent for JD Vance and his family to be on vacations, and that's been tax dollars. We could talk about the almost $100 million that we've spent so that Trump could go like post up at Mar-a-Lago, and it ain't been a full year, and that's also been tax dollars. We could talk about like again the fact that he is trying to get hundreds of millions of dollars because he feels like he was wrong as it relates to January 6th. But now they want to write about me having to pay for my security, and they don't even have the right angle on that issue. But that's that. Okay, so let me see what questions you have, and then I'm gonna have to go. So I'm checking from my staff to see what they gotta say. Okay, so okay, Zach said to back up. My bad, but I probably got that late. Um, I just don't know if y'all can hear me because I'm not trying to be super loud because I'm in the lounge. Let's see. Tiffany wants to know what can we do at this point? Is the House gonna vote the same as the Senate? Okay. So a couple of things that I need to clarify for Tiffany. In the Senate, they have the filibuster, which means that they have to get a total of 60 votes. We saw the 8 Democrats made sure that they could get over the filibuster. In the House, it's a simple majority. So we don't run the House, so we don't have the votes alone. But typically, the Freedom Caucus is really bad about wanting to vote for a continuing resolution. In addition to that, we still have one vacancy in the House on the Democratic side and one vacancy in the House on the Republican side. Not to mention, y'all know that this is an elderly body. So we're going to see who all is able to make it back. But we always have people that's out sick and all kinds of stuff. So we don't even know what the numbers are going to be. Not to mention, like I said, I'm delayed. Right now, it's myself and at least one other member that I saw sitting up here that are on this flight, but we're trying to get in so that we're in super early. There are other people that are going to be leaving tomorrow. We'll see what happens with flights tomorrow. There's been some drama on flights today. So it really matters about like how many people actually end up showing up in DC because the numbers are so tight. They only have like a 3-seat majority. And so who knows? We're going to see what roll call looking like when we get back. All right, let's see. We've got, yes, it's about Adelita. Okay, so we will swear Rep-elect Grijalva in, or she will be sworn in. And then after that, what's going to happen is she will then be allowed to sign the discharge petition, becoming the 218th signature needed. And then there's a couple of different ways that the bill can come to the floor for a vote. So basically, all that happens is now we know that we have enough signatures to override the speaker to be able to get the bill to the floor. And that was because we did have 4 Republicans that joined us in signing off on the discharge petition. I will note for you that the Republicans do not have that many women in their caucus, but it was 3 women and 1 man. So I just want y'all to understand Republican men seem to not have a problem with pedophiles. I'm just saying, because like it's absolutely ridiculous that there's only 1 man that signed off on the discharge petition, and he is the man that has co-led the discharge petition with Ro Khanna, and that is Thomas Massie, who now is under significant attack by his own party because that's what they do when you don't get in line, is they attack you. So they are really going after him in this primary. All right, let me see what else they got to say. Okay. Listen, y'all, see my staff coming to get me. Let me try to get this last one in. How does the Democratic Party regain their supporters' confidence? This is a really good question. Okay, I'm gonna try to do 2 more real fast. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I was when I tell you that I was so heartbroken when I saw what happened with the Senate, when I tell you that I had this crazy headache and I was so upset. I was mad. And honestly, I was questioning like, what is the point in being in the house? Like, what is the point in being a part of this August body if like we can't fight for the basics? Like I legitimately was like in my own crisis. And then I was like, well, maybe this is my sign. Maybe I should be running for the Senate, right? But like we got to get the data, we got to get the numbers. I don't know. I'm just telling you that like if you are in a crisis, it's okay because even I'm sitting around like really questioning like what is the point? Because we are in a body where it takes a team and it cannot be just one person. Um, so I don't know. I don't have really good answers. Right now, this fight is not over. The government is not open. Right now, there are House Democrats that made their way back to DC, and right now they just went in. They are doing amendments. One of those amendments is being brought by Hakeem Jeffries, is to extend the tax subsidies for 3 years on the Affordable Care Act. Um, we will see. We will see if they at least allow the amendment to go through so that we can at least vote on it on the floor. We will see if they rule it in order. We will see ultimately like what they ultimately do. But we are not giving up the fight. And again, because the numbers are so close, I can't tell you that this is going to pass. Like I have flights booked everywhere for all different days because I legitimately do not know what is going to happen, except for the fact that when I return, I'm voting no. Let me get this question that Zach said. He said, Wallace says, are we going to end up in a shutdown yet again come January? Very good question. So the CR that we got, again, it's a continuing resolution that we got from the Senate. The date that was in the continuing resolution from the House that was sent over in September, that date is already passed or about to pass, one of the two. I think it's already passed. No, it's about to pass. So the new date is at the end of January. In my opinion, these people, no, these people are incapable of governing. If you recall, they never even passed our appropriations for the entire fiscal year last year. And to be clear, while the House was out, we could have been passing the appropriations bills. We have 12 appropriation bills. We could have been passing those while the Senate was still working on a CR. And ultimately, they wouldn't even needed a CR because we would have had these appropriations. The final points that I'll make, because my staff go lose it if I miss this flight. Final points that I'm going to make is that they got what they call a minibus, which is basically a baby version of an omnibus, which an omnibus is kind of like a big bill that's got everything in it. All right, so in the minibus, what they got was that SNAP benefits would be funded for a full year. So basically, if we do shut down, trying to prevent people from standing in long food lines again. But there are some amendments to clarify that the president is required to use the emergency funds that are sitting there if there is another similar scenario to what we had, because we never really contemplated an American president that wants to starve his people. But hey, here we are. There's another amendment that is being filed to take back the $40 billion that they sent to Argentina, because MAGA clearly stands for Make Argentina Great Again. That was filed by Rep. Horsford out of Vegas. And basically, what that would do is take that money back and take that 40 billion and apply it to the tax subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. So I just want y'all to know that Democrats are working. We are fighting. We are going to do as good as we can considering the numbers in the House. And if the Freedom Caucus holds true to like what they do, which means that sometimes they just don't like to vote for these continuing resolutions, then we'll probably be in a decent place. I will talk to y'all later. I got to take this very long flight to DC.